Hello, and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Shawn, and welcome to the podcast. We are still in the midst of JS April.
Yes, and to make sure that we cover this lovely trade in the correct amount of time, because April is already half over. I don't know how that happened. We're going to talk about two issues today.
Yes, so we're using since we're on JS April, we're talking about the GSA Black Rain storyline, and we are covering the trade that contains that said storyline. And we are up to JSA number 57 from March 2004. And then after we chat about that, we're going to go to Hawkman Volume 4, number 24 from March 2004. So we're gonna pack all that in just like we used to do in the old days.
Yeah, it's doing two issues, man. We haven't done that for a while.
Somehow, I just real quick, I feel like I would look back at that and be like, man, that's a lot of comics to talk about.
It was, yes, agreed.
So we're gonna take it a bit easy. One thing I did want to point out real quick, because I just kind of was doing a little bit of preliminary research. So I want to clarify something, because I know last week we were talking about Billy Batson and the whole situation about him being like, hey, Stargirl, he's 8, but he's not 8.
How old is Billy Batson?
He's 16.
Wow, they draw him looking really young.
But that's the problem.
But still, how old is Stargirl?
Roughly the same age. She's a teenager.
Well, then it makes total sense that it's fine if they're both 16. But she doesn't know that Billy's 16.
No, but also, as you point out, and this is just, I know it seems like it should be on me to actually understand that.
We don't do research on this show.
But even regardless, the way they draw him sometimes.
He looks like a child.
He looks like he's younger than that. He doesn't look like a 16-year-old boy.
No, he does not, because he literally looks like a child, not a teenager, child. That's why I thought he was 8.
Right. So definitely, I know maybe if you're listening and you're like, hey, why you gotta say it like that? It's like, no, well, maybe we didn't quite. Well,
I also don't do any research.
Yeah. So. we
understand that most things I say on the show will be wrong.
We're not historians. Because what this show is, of course, as a few people that listen and maybe new listeners that listen, we rip on the comics. We talk about the funny things that make us laugh or make us just question and slap our foreheads.
Yes.
Ow. That hurt, actually.
Ow.
I hit my head and I think I almost broke my neck.
Oh, God.
I had a bit of a jerk. I was like, that was weird.
Is that because we watched that Big Vader episode, Big Van Vader, and that guy got his neck broken?
Oh, right. Yeah. the Big Van Vader, Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
No, I was in honor of Big Van Vader. I wanted to
breaking that guy's neck.
I was trying to work stiff.
Yeah.
Which you
also apparently so does Jason Todd.
Can you explain this real quick?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to pull it open. So, if you like comic book stuff and your algorithm figures that out, you get fed random comic book shit. So, and usually I get fed just like panels that have no context. So I got fed a panel where Damian and John got turned into corgis. So I was like, I don't know what's happening, but they're corgis, so that's fun. But then I also got fed this panel of Jason Todd.
Oh, do you have this?
Yes, I have it. I should send it to you. And
well, just show it to me.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to make it big so I can look at it. So Jason Todd's like, he's just literally on a motorcycle and he's showing up at a place. And he's like, oh, man, Joker was right. I ran away. It turns out running away is the only thing I'm good at. Army discharge for insubordination, too hot-tempered for bodyguard work, too much of a, quote, shooter for pro wrestling, whatever that means. So which means when Jason Todd was apparently trying to be a pro wrestler, he was working stiff and people got mad at him and said, no, every single thing you do is a shoot, so we can't have you wrestling other people.
So this is what I'm trying to figure out Jason Todd's life. Street urchin.
Yes.
Batman Ward / Robin. Dead.
Yeah, well, yeah. Or / Ward / endangered by Batman, because that is endangered child, because come on.
Okay, so then dead.
Apparently tried to get in the army.
Yeah, so army.
Bodyguard.
Yeah, army doesn't work out.
Bodyguard. too angry to be a bodyguard. How does that work?
Bodyguard, pro wrestling.
Which he's too... He actually fights.
Then eventually Red Hood.
And then eventually Red Hood.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't know if there's any jobs in between there.
Yeah, but I suggested that Jason Todd, if he really wants to do pro wrestling, he should go to New Japan.
110%.
Because in Japan,
strong style.
Strong style. He would be a big prospect. He would be a huge American gaijin. They call them. They call them gaijins.
Yeah.
And he could have been. Him and Will Ospreay could have had 7-star matches.
1,000%. And, he's already got that like white tuft in his hair. So he's already got like the two-tone hair a lot of them have. And he could have just come out in a red hood. They'd have been fine with his little red hood.
He could have got his developmental deal with WWE.
Yeah, but he would have been like seriously like
move to Florida. Get called up to the main roster.
Totally.
Accidentally break John Cena's toe. Get fired.
Well, get called up to the main roster and not be used at all.
Sitting catering.
So staring at Kevin Nash. And that's just about it.
Hey, Jason, it's Batman. What are you doing? I don't know, just staring at Zack Ryder and catering. I'm eating a boiled egg, hanging out with Tyler Breeze. Triple H, I keep walking up to Triple H, ask him for some mic time, and he's like, no, Jason Todd.
Jason, we don't want to hear about why Bruce didn't kill the Joker when you think he should have, because we've already heard it. We don't need it again.
So I pitched this idea to Vince. That said, hey, how about Randy Orton beats me to death
with a crowbar?
I think I can imagine pitching that. He's like, hey, pal, we don't deal with clowns. How about Doink the Clown beats you with
that would actually be really funny. That'd actually be really fucking funny.
Doink the Clown.
Doink the Clown comes and fucking beats Jason Todd to death with a goddamn crowbar.
Iron.
Yeah, tire iron. Sure. Yeah, we don't want to commit IP theft.
Oh,
here,
that's
so
true.
It's gotta be...
Actually, if it was Doink, he would use a fake arm to do that, because that's what he used to beat Kona Crush with.
I'm just trying to figure out who in the Bat family hasn't at one time been dead. I don't think Barbara was dead. She just got shot. Pretty sure.
What about Damien?
He died.
Oh, okay.
He came back. Jason died, came back. Tim died, came back. Did Dick? I don't know if Dick did. I would have to look into that. But yeah, most of them dead and then not dead.
Back in 1940, 8 sensational heroes united to create the world's very first superhero team, the Justice Society of America. Now, 85 years later, we're gathering podcasters and bloggers from around the globe for a month-long celebration in an event we're calling JS April. Throughout April 2025, join dozens of content creators as they each share their own unique tributes to the original and greatest superhero team, including all-star podcasters and bloggers like
Justice Society presents
the Longbox Crusade podcast,
Campus Comics Cast,
Supergirl Comic Box Commentary,
the Quarter Bin Podcast,
the Bat Pod,
the Earth 2 Podcast,
FW Team Up,
Diana Prince is the new Wonder Woman,
Fanholes Podcast,
Back to the Bins,
Coffee and Comics,
the Huntress Podcast,
*51.blogspot.com,
Justice Society Origins, a part of John Reed's Comics,
DC Specialcast,
Between the Pages blog,
The Outcasters, a Batman and the Outsiders podcast,
A World on Fire, an All-Star Squadron podcast,
JLA Stories and Friends,
The Monitor Tapes,
a Crisis on Infinite Earths podcast,
Lords of Order, a DC's Dr. Fate fan podcast,
David M. Gallagher at Medium.com,
JSA in the 90s,
Justice League Legacies,
DC Secret Files podcast,
Mike's Geek World,
Pop Culture Affidavit,
the Source Material Comics podcast,
That Giffen Show,
Worst Collection Ever,
The Fantastic Four.
It all comes back to Superman.
And that's just some of the podcasters and bloggers who'll be joining in the celebration. Get ready for a thrilling month of beloved characters, fascinating insights, and incredible stories. Follow the action on social media with the hashtag JSApril, and visit our website for a complete list of participating podcasters, bloggers, and what they're each covering at fireandwaterpodcast.com/JSApril.
Well, let's get into our JSA discussion here. So JSA number 57, March 2004. The cover is an action shot of what appears so there's later on we'll see more of these Fitharians. So they're going to show up.
Fitharians.
And so we got Power Girl fighting them, and then you also have Hawkman in this shot. You got Black Adam.
You got Alan Scott down there.
Yeah, Alan Scott. You know, so there's some stuff going on. It's
people are doing things.
It's just the way that these next few covers are.
Yeah,
it's like stuff that happens at the end of the book.
Yes,
or is just about to happen.
Yes,
and they just put it at the beginning of this cover. So, anyways, so we start off in Kahndaq and Black Adam. We have the crew, of course, Brainwave, Northwind, Eclipso, Nemesis, and Atom Smasher. And so they're talking about basically, there's still whatever resistance is left, we're cleaning it up. Black Adam's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go outside and speak to my people. And he opens up the doors and all the sun comes in.
Very Don't Cry For Me Argentina.
Yeah.
Eva Perón, like all the people are just cheering for him because they killed this dictator or whatever.
Well, I was kind of hoping you noticed this thing that happens with Eclipso, because he's like, sunlight.
When he sees sunlight, that's just me.
I was like, as soon as I read this, I was like, that's Jen.
Yeah, the Daystar.
Daystar.
Daystar. Yeah, it's you gotta stay out of that sun. It's not good for your skin.
Yeah,
especially if you enjoy the darkness.
So they're out on this balcony. Everybody's cheering and Black Adam's talking to the people, and he's like, hey, I'm here. I'm the man.
I'm great.
I'm the man. And then
the heroes have returned or something. I think he said something along that.
Yeah. Black Adam's like, hey, Atom Smasher, this is what it's like to be cool. Check it out. And Atom Smasher kind of does the garbage man.
Yes, he absolutely does. He just puts his arms up.
Because he's just standing watching. He just goes, hey! And everybody's like, hey!
He's like, oh, is this what I'm supposed to do?
He's like, all right, yay!
I'm so cool.
Now we're in New York at the JSA headquarters.
We seem to be having a little argument about who needs to be leading this little mission thing.
Right. Because as of last book, Hawkman came in to
their little dinner.
Yeah, they're having a birthday party for Hawkman, but Hawkman was like, well, I just finished ripping off Mattermaster's arm.
Yeah.
And also Kahndaq's been invaded by Black Adam. And now I'm going to be the leader of JSA and we're going to take care of this. And now they're talking, the strategy.
Yeah. So they basically argue for a while.
Yeah, they argue a lot about who should be turned.
And honestly, it does not matter.
Well, it does. But there's a few things, though. We got a Power Girl whose breasts are contained and calmed down somewhat.
Yep. Well, I'm assuming that suit is kind of like a sports bra, so it kind of compresses them, so they're not
right. But we'll compare it to last week.
Well, that's what I mean, because the normal bra versus sports bras are totally different.
Totally.
So she could have been squished.
But I do enjoy her calling Hawkman an ass.
Yeah, that was funny
because Hawkman's talking shit to Jay Garrick, and she's like, I was like, well, he's being an ass.
Yeah.
Stargirl's like, hey, how about Captain Marvel? He's kind of like Black Adam's
he's kind of like him. What did he say? Like Shazam's modern champion, I think she calls him.
Yeah, Captain Marvel is Shazam's modern champion, and Black Adam's the ancient one.
So it should be him, and he's like, no, I really think it should be Hawkman because he has experience.
And eventually, Mr. Terrific is like, look, Hawkman understands this, but probably knows how to do this better.
Yeah.
This is going to be temporary. Let's go.
Yeah.
Stargirl tries to be like, hey, let's take a vote. And Hawkman's like, fuck off.
Yeah. He's like, we're not voting. We're just going to go in there and kick ass.
Every shit is real. And you want democracy?
Yeah. There's no democracy here. I'm like, yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah.
I want to bring our lost teammates home before they finally cross a line I've been walking my entire existence.
Isn't he 1 billion years old or something?
Yeah,
well, yeah, but so his entire existence is just on the border of killing.
I guess.
Is that the whole thing? He's just every day is murder. Is that what's going on for thousands of years?
Sure. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't either.
The Hawkman mythos is very confusing.
Well, that is very true. And then I also forgot, obviously, Dr. Fate is Hawkman's kid. So we have that going on too. Because at first I was like, wait a second, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot.
Because he'll refer to, Hector Hall.
Yes.
Dr. Fate will refer to Hawkman as father, dad or whatever.
Yes.
And you'll be like, wait, what? Like that was like, because if you think about it like in just general terms, when you were like, in the 80s, you're just like, wait a minute, Hawkman is Dr. Fate's dad?
Yeah,
this is weird.
You're like, wait, it's like, oh no, it's a different Dr. Fate. This is not Ken Nelson.
So we go back to the palace.
Yeah, and we have Atom Smasher is in bed, in a very nice bed, by the way. This is a nice big bed, but he's in bed, and he keeps hearing this voice that's telling him basically that he sucks, and
well, the voice is telling him terrible. That he's an executioner and everything.
Yeah,
it is referenced a little bit later. I think it's in the next, maybe in this book or the next book, about an inside man.
Yes, I think they actually talk about it here.
They
maybe.
Might.
Okay, yeah.
They might, but but this does turn out to actually be something.
Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. So he's like, you know what? I got to go talk to my buddy Eclipso / Alex. So I'm going to wander through this palace with just sweatpants on. And when I knock on the door, what happens but Nemesis opens it. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was Alex's room. And she's like, it is.
It is. He is here.
He's here. And I'm only wearing a sheet. So put that together. And he's like,
we don't know if they're really. I was going to say.
They're fucking.
I know they're fucking. But well, maybe they were playing, Dance Dance Revolution. It is 2004.
Sure. 100%.
But they're naked,
Yeah. Who doesn't want to do Dance Dance Revolution naked and just jostle around?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That would be awful. But I assume like the JSA Brownstone or the Watchtower. Like, that's got to be like the Olympic Village, right? Where everybody's fucking.
The Watchtower, for sure.
For sure.
Because, especially nowadays with all those characters on there.
Yeah, there's so many of them, and they're all, like, ripped, and they're all attractive. Like, they're all fucking.
Just plow it.
All of them. Fucking constantly.
Just gobbling up.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's...
Dude, that'd be great if it was like...
this is our floating sex club?
Yes. Yes, that's what it is. That should be a Black Label book. Watchtower After Dark,
Oh shit, yeah.
JLA Watch. Dude, actually, I would buy the fuck out of that.
I would buy them. Dude, I'll write it. Fucking
I'll write it right now.
I'll write it right now.
I'll buy it myself.
I would.
If you want to put it behind the counter in a black bag,
because
they're doing that now. That kind of is back.
Yeah,
because they have these the Blade comic.
Okay,
that's the Marvel comics now, and those are in like poly bags, and they don't. It's like a very much like, this is for not for kids.
Yeah. What's going on in that Blade book?
I don't know. I've been thinking about buying it. Like, are we talking like Cherry Comics? Because watch the. That's what I'm expecting.
Maybe that's a really good question. Because they're Black Label books.
Come on, DC.
I mean, shit. They drew Dick in that one, and then they had to pull it. But in the what was it? The Damned one. Yeah. You get to see Batman's dick at that. Yeah. I own that issue.
We discussed the
but I mean, like, so what more? I mean, unless you're like literally drawing penetration, especially if you read that Batman Catwoman book, there's a lot of fucking in that book. Like a lot of them in bed together and stuff. A lot of like silhouettes of them nude, but they're not actually like penetration. So is that why it's in a poly bag? Because there's actual penetration?
Next time we end up in Hall Justice, I'm going to probably buy that.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what's going on.
We got to figure out what's going on.
That poly bag. I want to see.
We got to figure out what's going on.
So it'd probably just rip it open. It's just a card in there. Yeah. It's like, it's not really in this, but we're kidding. There's just like, here's a collector's card. You got
jokes. And be like, God damn it. Fuck you.
So Black Adam is at his shrine for his kids.
Yeah. And he brought them and his wife, and he brought them a scarab, I guess, that was like buried with him or something.
Yeah. He's like, you could have it. And he just sticks his fist in the ground.
Which is very funny.
I just want to point out his sons' names are Gon and Harut.
Sure.
And the only reason why I bring it up is because when I looked at it real quick, I thought his son's name was Yogurt. The way that was written, I was like, Yogurt?
This is my son Yogurt.
It's my son Yogurt, and here's my son.
I named him after my favorite thing.
Here's my other son, Yoplay.
This is Chobani, and this is Yoplay.
He's thinking about his family, and Brainwave comes up behind him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, families, that's sad."
Yeah, family. Anyway,
and Black Adam's like, "Don't ever fucking do that again, or I'll rip your fucking face off."
Right? Don't read my mind, you fucking weirdo.
Now we go to
a plane?
The JSA plane.
Yeah, which apparently is packed full of people. You would think that they could get a little bit of a bigger...
Well, there's a reason they're taking this plane.
Because it needs to explode?
Well, no, because Dr. Fate has an argument.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Fate has an argument with himself. So Nabu pulls whatever is the Hawkman's kid into like his brain.
We pulled him into the amulet because that's
yeah,
kind of
into the amulet. But it's weird because I think this might be the first time I've ever seen like
Nabu.
Yes,
I think
because usually isn't it just like a voice?
Yeah,
because I've seen that before. So I was like, oh, okay. So he like literally, and it looks like he's just like on someone's lawn.
He's fighting with him. Well, we'll just talk about it now.
Yeah.
We'll get to the other stuff. But the reason why they're taking his plane is because Nabu prevented Dr. Fate, Hector, from transporting them.
Oh, that's right. Because Nabu kind of thinks
Black Adam's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's right.
Because he's like, look, I used to kick it with him back in the day.
He's all right.
You know, and Hector's like, hey, man, like, it's different now. Black Adam's, you know, his motives are pure. He's not a good dude. He says he was a good dude, but he's not. Nabu, interestingly, refers to Kent Nelson because he's like, hey, Kent Nelson was like my guy before, but then the JSA and all those dudes, you know, everybody there kind of filled his head with a bunch of garbage.
Right.
So
which kind of fucked everything up.
He says, like, yeah, that got him killed.
Yeah.
Hector's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go next time I show up here without being asked here, you know, politely, is you're going to get it.
Yeah. Seriously. I'm not no more Mr. Nice Guy, basically.
Yeah. So, but anyways, on this plane, you know, Hawkman and Hawkgirl talking about Stargirl.
Mm-hmm. Hawkgirl's like, you're kind of hard on her. And he's like, so what?
Oh, yeah. And this is where Stargirl's like, man, Hawkman's a real jerk to me.
Yeah. She's like, I don't even know why I came on this stupid mission.
Now they're in the airspace and Brainwave is communicating with the team here, with the JSA. He's like, hey, you should go. You're not supposed to be here.
Yep. Leave.
And Hawkman's like, nope. And he's like, all right, fine. And then Black Adam proceeds to bullet his way through this plane,
which is very funny. Actually, he just literally like rips it in half.
So I get confused though, because not all these characters, especially like say like Stargirl and Wildcat, they're not indestructible.
Right. And they can't all fly.
They can't, not all of them can fly. Well, and that's not so much the part that bothers me, but there's this big explosion.
Yeah.
In the middle of this plane.
And they're fine.
Like, we're not finding pieces of them, you know?
You would assume there would be pieces, but no pieces. Just, they're very, you know, comics let people be a lot more durable than they are in real life.
It's possible that there was some sort of spell. Well, but even like Dr. Fate's like, I got caught off guard.
Right.
So I don't know if it was like how much of a last minute thing that he was able maybe to shield people.
Right.
But they're all falling through the sky. They're trying to figure out what happened. And just as they realize it was Black Adam, they turn and they see a horde of Northwind and Northwind's friends.
Yeah. So it's all the Fitherians.
I'm going to say Fitherians. I know there's a problem.
Fitherians.
Yeah, I would say because it's like kind of like feather.
Yeah.
But it's with but there's an I.
There's an I in it. Yeah.
So Fitherians are coming at them, and it's just a bunch of dudes with bird feet,
bird heads,
and wings, but man chests.
Man, it's real weird.
And man ants.
It's kind of upsetting. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of
creeps me out.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's like, you know, there's some deviant art shit that just exists.
You know it.
Nothing but that. And some
that's
sort
Rule
of
34,
section.
Man. That's if there can be porn about it, there is porn about it. That's just how it is.
Hell yeah. And then we find Hourman falling, and
yes.
he's like, he comes to, and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I need my Miraculo.
He activates it.
Yeah, he does. So he doesn't die, which is good.
No, he barrels his way. He kind of just superheroes, like Superman's his way through like a building.
Yeah, but then apparently there's a lot of people in this building because
they see him. They saw the explosion. They probably saw these people falling.
Yeah, well, but the building he lands in, I'm assuming, is like a warehouse, and then it becomes like a fucking zombie horde.
Yeah,
because they're just like, invade or get him, and I don't know how he wasn't ripped to shreds.
There are so many
hands,
people that are here immediately.
Yeah, to
take him down. It's like a zombie thing. It's crazy. And then the nose of the plane, which has Dr. Midnight and Mr. Terrific, that runs into Atom Smasher.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand here exactly what the physics are of what's going on. Atom Smasher has this plane. He's looking into this cockpit. And he's big. You know, he's like however tall he is. He's big enough to stop the nose of this plane.
Yes.
with 2 grown-ass humans in it.
Mm-hmm.
They initially think he's on their side, and he's like, nope, we're the good guys here. And what he does is, I don't know if he just, it looks like he punches his way through the side of the cockpit.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Or maybe just grazes the top because like he's holding his cockpit. This is like the physics of it all.
Yeah.
His hand, the spatial relations, his hand is covering the entire nose of the cockpit.
Yes.
And he pulls his fist over, or he moves his fist over it, but as if like he's trying to punch both of them in the cockpit.
Yeah, at the same time.
But I don't know exactly how he's doing that without killing them.
Yeah, I don't.
Because there's no way to, it doesn't seem like there's any way to do this delicately, but it just looks confusing to me.
Yes.
But that's what he does.
Yeah.
So he disable, the 2 heroes and puts them over his shoulder and walks away.
Yeah. So he's got Mr. Terrific and
Dr. Midnight.
Yeah, Dr. Midnight tossed over his shoulders, and he's like going back to the palace.
That's right.
Worlds would live.
Worlds would die.
And DC Comics would never be the same again.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. The crossover so epic it reached every corner of the DC multiverse. Join DC Dave
and Doug Adamson as we discuss the Monitor Tapes,
a Crisis on Infinite Earths podcast.
Find us on your favorite podcatcher and join the discussion at themonitortapes.com.
So now we're moving on to Hawkman Volume 4, number 24.
Mm-hmm.
This is the cover. Just to show this cover. It's actually one of my favorite covers here.
That's actually kind of great. It's Hawkman hitting Dr. Fate in the head with his mace.
Yeah, they're in the air.
And Dr. Fate's just like, ugh!
Hawkman is hitting Dr. Fate in the head with his mace like he's Andy Cap getting hit in the head with a
very funny
with a rolling pin.
Yeah, it's exactly what it looks.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one rules.
Yeah, it's great.
He's also, I'm not exactly sure what's going on up here, but he's holding some sort of, I don't know if it's
a flag.
I think
it looks like the flag of
Kahndaq.
Yeah,
but it's like, I don't understand why.
It doesn't matter.
But we're gonna find out why, because they're supposed to be friends.
Oh, they're buddies.
But
nope.
Maybe not right now, man.
Nope, not right now.
So now we're starting off with where we left off, sort of in the previous issue. Yeah, the streets of Sharuda and Kahndaq, and you have Hourman being chased. Somehow he was not dismembered by that.
He does have
crew of people.
It looks like his shoulder's a bit fucked up. He's got some blood and stuff.
Well, he gets shot.
Yeah, so he's like running through the streets, hoping he can survive.
Yeah, he's trying to get out. And it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is Black Rain Part 4.
Yes.
And we're in the sky, and Hawkman and Hawk Girl. Actually, I want to make sure I keep saying, I say Hawk Girl a lot. I don't know. Is it Hawk Girl or Hawk Woman?
Pretty sure it's Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl. Okay, good.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't remember exactly when they would call her Hawk Woman.
I don't think they ever have.
They have at some point.
Have they? I'm just familiar with Hawk Girl.
Maybe back when it was the Hawk World.
Oh, possible.
Like the John Ostrander stuff.
Yeah, that's possible.
But Northwind, the Fetherians, they have all changed. They're all muscular men.
Muscular men.
With bird heads and bird tootsies.
And they are just fucking laying waste to all of them. To Power Girl, to fucking Dr. Fate, everybody who can fly.
Yeah,
basically.
And at one point, Carter Hawkman takes off his helmet and he's like, "Hey, Norda, Northwind, whatever. It's me, your godfather.
Your godfather. We're friends." And nope.
And Northwind literally just goes. Rah! See, that hurt my throat.
Yeah, I think that's because they have somehow had some sort of rapid evolution,
and they can't talk.
So maybe they can't understand either. I don't know how that works.
Or they know they can understand. I think they understand, but they just can't communicate, and so they're just like, whatever.
Right.
This is how we're doing.
Interesting.
That's what you're supposed to think.
Okay.
I guess
I'll think that
Black Adam has given Northwind and his people, his race, some sort of sanctuary.
Yes.
Because his race is very,
they're like
having trouble. It doesn't.
They don't really have a country now.
They have a place to go because they got kicked out of Greenland.
Yeah, they keep getting. Man, you gotta. Well,
yeah.
I was gonna say we know what that's like, anyways. You got to really fuck up to get kicked out of Greenland.
Yeah.
So yeah, and is this the part where like Dr. Fate finally like turns them all into hawks?
Yeah.
Into like literal hawks, like regular sized birds.
First, Green Lantern wraps them all up in their individual little chainy cage balls.
Yes.
Which I believe
they're technically called chainy cage balls.
Yes, that's the
technical term.
You can buy one at Lowe's.
Yes.
For your yard.
Yeah.
And Dr. Fate changes all of the muscular bird dudes into just birds. Hawks or whatever.
Just regular ass hawks, like you see sitting on a fucking phone pole.
But this is where they run into Eclipso and Nemesis, and they got the Kahndaq soldiers with them. Hawkman's like, well, we're going to fight, and
guess it's time for a battle.
Because you are friends, I will not make you bleed much.
Too much. Yeah. But don't worry, it's really going to hurt. It's going to kind of suck for you.
It's going to suck.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Now we're with Dr. Midnight and Mr. Terrific and Atom Smasher and Black Adam. A lot of it's always like, hey, Black Adam, why are you doing this? You shouldn't do this.
And he's like, but I am doing it.
I am doing it, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do more, and
I'm gonna keep doing it. And they're like,
don't.
But you shouldn't. And he's like, nah. So he keeps doing it, and that's basically how it shakes out every time they talk to him.
Well, because he points out to Mr. Terrific, Black Adam does he's like, hey, your wife was killed by a driver.
Yes, which I didn't realize that this was part of Mr. Terrific's backstory, that I'm assuming either a drunk driver or maybe she was hit by a car, because this person is serving time for manslaughter. So obviously it was not intentional. But she is dead.
She's dead.
And I did not realize that was a thing.
Yeah, and was going on. He's trying to play to that or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when they don't fall in line, he has Atom Smasher grab them by the feet and dangle them over the edge of a building.
Yes. And there's, again, the horde of zombie people down there just itching to rip them down and apparently rip them to pieces.
Yeah, they're throwing rocks at him, and I just enjoy one of the people in the crowd is just holding up an 8x10 of Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's right.
This is the guy I like.
This was signed. It's signed. I'm going to get this graded.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
This is where... So I think Black Adam is like, hey, we need to get Billy Batson. We need to get Shazam. We need to get him on our side, or whatever. And he's got Brainwave seeking him out.
Mm-hmm.
Which we find him eventually.
Yes.
But this is where I also like this exchange here with Hawk Girl and Nemesis, where Hawk Girl's like, are you that sad, Nemesis? That sad that you have to find something else to hurt since your father is gone? Nemesis says, I was programmed to hate.
Yeah, and Hawkgirl goes, so was I, but I got over it.
Yeah, I got better.
Yeah, basically, that's literally what it is. I got better.
But then Nemesis goes, perhaps you can learn to hate again. It's a pretty good back and forth.
This is a skill you can remember how to do. Hate.
Let's go to the haters ball together.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then you got the Green Lantern and Eclipso fighting. And I always love it when Green Lanterns make weird things.
Oh, yeah.
Because at first thing, he's got Alan's making like some monster head.
Yes.
To combat the Black Diamond, Heart of Darkness, whatever. Then he eventually makes a lion to jump onto Eclipso.
Nice.
And then this is where Dr. Fate.
Yeah, this is where Dr. Fate pulls Hawkman Jr. into like his nether space.
What's happening is he's observing Dr. Fate, or Hector is observing Hawkman, his father, like going wild and just smashing up people. And Nabu's like, see, I told you, I'm taking over now.
Yeah, and he puts him in like, so when he's in this like nether space, he literally puts him in like a cage.
Yeah. Well, no, he sticks him. He takes him.
Like an egg.
No. I don't know. We're looking into something, to the amulet.
Yes.
Right. And an amulet is a picture of Hector in the house in the window frame here.
Oh, okay. It looked like you put him in an egg.
It does look, but yes, it does look like an egg.
Yeah,
no, it is the amulet.
I thought it was like some sort of like weird light prison that looks like an egg.
No, but he traps him in the house, and Dr. Fate undoes the Northwind.
Yes, so now they're Hawk people
effect.
again.
Yeah, and now they're Hawk people again.
And now Dr. Fate has officially changed sides.
Yeah, he's changed sides at the moment because Nabu wants to he's like, I'm gonna teach you how this is how it is, Hector.
Yep.
And he starts doing this thing where because Green Lantern has put the rest of the team in like some sort of cage on the ground. Dr. Fate starts off like this giant like train of like angels.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's actually kind of rules.
I mean, I'm assuming Dr. Fate can kind of do anything.
Oh, he does pretty much anything.
Yeah, so
he does anything magically. But they're like these like fiery angels that he's unleashing.
Yeah.
This is where we catch up with Shazam and Wildcats. Wildcat's ankles hurt.
It's broken.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Shazam is there with him, and there's also one of the T-balls that I guess is still kind of functional.
The T-spheres.
I think there's something here that refers to this deal with the secret hero.
Oh, okay.
Because the T-ball starts like communicating, and it's like Hawkman. He's like, "Hey, where's Hawkman? I'm waiting for your signal. I need to talk to Dr. Midnight."
Right.
This is where Black Adam just hits.
Yeah, he just fucking
it's Wildcat with a piece of metal, just whacks him in the head.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And then now we have Black Adam and Shazam fight,
which is great.
Which I'm okay, cool. Yeah. This is cool.
This is good, and so they're like going back and forth. Eventually,
Brainwave shows up.
Yeah,
he calls out for Brainwave.
Yes,
and Brainwave is able to tap into
the Shazam power,
the Shazam brain, and he makes Shazam say Shazam.
Yes.
And turns him back into Billy Batson.
To this very young child who's supposed to be a teenager.
And
he falls backwards and he's like,
no, he doesn't. Black Adam backhands him in the back of the head.
That's right. He fucking slaps him. It's awesome.
Slaps him in the back of the head.
He really does, which is great.
And then this is something I just noticed this. I don't know if you caught this. Brainwave is digging into his brain. He goes, "This is interesting. His mind so different without Zeus and the others yelling at him. Thoughts of hate, anger, and sex return."
Yes, it's very funny because I was going to point that out too.
Yeah.
So they say that, and then they're like, "Oh, and his feelings for the girl are much more pure in this state," and I'm like, "What's happening?" So there's a lot of sex in this version of Billy, but there's more impure thoughts.
Oh my God. I didn't realize you could memorize I didn't know you could memorize the entire Vivid catalog in this brain.
Pretty much, but I'm like,
see all of it.
Or does he mean just like they're stronger? But he says pure.
Pure in the sense that, hey, it's the actual teenager.
It's the crush.
The teenage Brian, whatever. And he's just like, whatever.
Crush thoughts that you have when you're a teenager.
Hopefully he's just, it's just Brainwave walking by a soda shop window and they're sharing a phosphate, hopefully.
What was it? An egg cream or whatever the fuck those gross ass things are?
Wait a minute, he's like, egg cream? Gross.
Egg cream. Ugh, gross. Man, what are you? Like, born in 1943?
Well, actually, yes. I think
he actually might have been, yeah.
Hey, Sargo, let's go get a frap.
Oh, Jesus. Now you sound like my dad.
Yeah, right?
Jesus.
So Black Adam being like, okay, let's get the girl. Let's get Stargirl. Let's
get her over here. Let's really fuck some shit up. Get her over here. Yep. Time to fuck some shit up.
Atom Smasher, because Dr. Fate is causing havoc. Everybody's confused. This is where we end here we're about to end here because Hawk Girl is fighting Nemesis and Eclipso is about to shoot her down.
Yes.
And Hawkman or Hourman shows up.
This is very strange. Okay. So Hourman shows up and he's like, I'm in so much pain. Oh my God, I'm about to die. And he's like, oh my God, he basically gets sliced up and his intestines fall out of his body.
Well, yeah, because like he subdues Eclipso.
Yes.
He knocks him off and then Nemesis is like, oh, well, you hit my friend.
Yeah.
I'm going to come over there
swords
and eviscerate you.
Yeah. Literally. So he's, it's like that Saving Private Ryan scene where that guy's walking around with his fucking intestines in his hands. It's basically what's happening. And so Hawk Girl making a very funny face, holding him as he's dying.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that. That's pretty wacky.
It's pretty funny. And they're like, oh my God, there's not enough time. And he's like, there's always time. So he does an hour thing.
Yeah, he taps his wrist to go and talk to his dad,
but then the dad comes back.
He's able to switch places.
Switches places
Tyler,
with his dad.
Hourman. Yes,
and then he just goes, "Where's my son?" And that's the end of this issue.
Yep, that's how we end.
I was very confused on how this was happening because I was like, "Wait,
I just think
how did that work?"
That's another thing with the Hourman stuff that I don't understand.
Yeah, same. I don't really know how Hourman works.
Well, I mean, I know Hourman on a base level, but like the stuff with him and his dad and the fight with Extant and this and that, and I'm like, I don't get it.
See, that's the thing, because like I was very surprised when you told me last episode that he basically just gets to have like all the powers for an hour, but that doesn't seem like that's what his power is here.
No, it's not. So, I mean, his power is on display sort of because he knocks Eclipso into a wall.
Yeah.
Like real hard. Oh, but also, does that not give him... Okay, so I guess that doesn't give him like a resistance to injury.
I guess not.
Although, hang on. If he activates the Miracolo and he dove through those buildings... And he dove through the buildings to get to the ground, and
he got
didn't
shot.
and he got, but then he gets shot. I'm like, but wouldn't that fall from that great of a height do more damage to you?
I would assume.
I mean, I'm not saying you were fine, but then you end up getting shot, and now you're gutted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how we're gonna end this here. So that is Hawkman number 24 from March 2004, and next week we'll wrap it up with the last with JSA 58 and Hawkman 25.
Yeah.
And that'll be it for JS April.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, this is stuff that a lot of the stuff you're learning about for the first time with the JSA and some of these characters. What do you think? Like, what's your kind of takeaways with this so far?
There's some I like the version of Eclipso that we're seeing here, because I think that's really interesting, where we
don't get too attached.
No, I won't. But I'm just saying, like, because I think that's just it's an interesting take, because he's got these tattoos that kind of control Eclipso and banish him into the gem.
Yeah.
Shazam is a character I've never really gotten into, but I don't hate him here.
Okay.
He's just a character I've never really been drawn to.
I've always felt Shazam he's too corny.
Oh, he's very corny.
And I know that's kind of
the point.
The point in some ways, and it's the whole like little kid becomes superhero by saying Shazam, and there's all this lore behind it. And I'm just like, but it's corny.
Yeah, it's kind of corny.
We're
talking about wizards now.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, so it is, but he's never a character that I've like really cared about. But I don't hate him here. But we've only seen him for like 2 issues, so I can't really say much. So, yeah, I think it's interesting. And I also think that this portrayal of Dr. Fate's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
In that we are doing this thing where Nabu's kind of insane because he's like, I don't know, a god or whatever. God of Chaos, I think is what he's supposed to be. But he's
the god
like,
of order.
I thought he was the god
of Lord of Order.
Is he a Lord of Order? Okay. But like, he's kind of a huge pain in the ass to whoever is like his host body.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to the point where I don't understand what benefits anyone gets from assuming Dr. Fate, the mantle of Dr. Fate.
For all the Dr. Fate that I've encountered and all the stuff that I like about the character, I've never really, with this book in particular, I've never really seen it where it's like kind of it's like a firestorm kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where, you have
it's like 2 people.
Yeah, it's 2 people engaging with each other and affecting the story. Like, it's never really been like that, where it's always been more Dr. Fate, there's Kent Nelson and there's Dr. Fate. They're 2 separate people, and Dr. Fate is more Nabu than he is Kent Nelson.
Right.
But in this case,
But they don't like argue or whatever.
No, it's like I mean, to my knowledge, I don't remember them being like, it's like, oh, I don't like this.
Because that is kind of how it's presented. And I think I mentioned this before in the Young Justice cartoon, where like you assume the mantle of Dr. Fate, you're literally standing in like a dark room, like your person, like Kent Nelson is standing in a dark room while Dr. Fate controls his body.
Yeah.
And he has like no control over any of it. And then Nabu's just like, I might like whatever body I'm in. I'm not going to give it back to you.
Yeah,
and
right.
Then people have to yell at him. And I was like, is this common? I don't know. I don't read enough Dr. Fate to know.
I have the miniseries with a bunch of stuff about Hector, and I don't know if this is where he becomes Dr. Fate. I don't know enough about, because it's like it's like that Infinity Inc. like connection. So like he was Silver Scarab, but like I don't even know what the hell Silver Scarab did.
Couldn't tell you.
He was just a blonde guy in silver clothes, but now he's Dr. Fate.
Why not?
I'll have to find out.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like this a lot. I really dig it. If I recall, I mean, I just read it recently, but the conclusion is it's okay. I mean, it's whatever. It's, you know, we're going to get there, but you know, there's some interesting stuff that happens along the way, especially these past 2 issues, because now we're like in the mix.
Yeah.
Like we're fighting. And we're pairing off against each other, and there's this, there's that. So you get to see a lot of powers and a lot of just really cool activity happening. You know, that I think that stuff is really really worth appreciating. But that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you for listening, everybody. Find us on our socials. Find us on the podcast apps of your choice, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or particular ones you can use. Also, YouTube. I forgot I haven't mentioned YouTube recently.
Oh, that's right.
But YouTube, Angry Hero 79, at Angry Hero 79, or however you look up the accounts. I think it's youtube.com/Angry Hero 79. And you could click the link in the description of this episode and take you to a playlist of the shows as they update each week. So there's a lot of content there if that's how you listen to your podcasts. And email us at worstcollectionever@gmail.com. JS April, of course, one more week after this. Hashtag JS April. Check it out on the fireandwaterpodcast.com website. There's a link to JS April there, and you can find out about all the other great shows and websites that are participating in this event. So that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Bye.